Hi there, and welcome to the Theexperiencepodcast. My name is Dennis, and I'm a spirit walking around in a meat suit. And with me today, I have my brother.
My name is Neil. I am a multi-dimensional spiritual being having a human experience. And in today's video and in all videos that you watch, be sure and use your own discernment. And I invite and recommend that you do all of your own research. And so what we want to be talking about and presenting today is a revisitation to herbal tea and how this tea, like my personal experience with herbal tea and getting like into the practice of utilizing it on a daily basis, and like just this, our experience, my experience with it, Dennis's experiences with it, and the actual process of brewing it. And so with that, would you be interested in presenting how you go about brewing an herbal tea?
Yes. So first of all, what is your definition of herbal tea? Like when somebody is listening here and they and we talk about herbal tea, like what is it that what is it that you're talking about?
Yes. So there are approximately 325,000 plant species, approximately.
And is that worldwide, or is
that is approximately worldwide? There are many, many more, but that's approximate. And within that 325,000, there's like 200 something thousand of these plants that have medicinal and herbal value.
Wow.
So coming from that standpoint, when we're talking about herbal tea, we're not talking about one specific plant. We're not talking about like it. What it is that there are many, many plants that have medicinal value, and the values are different medicinally. Some of them have value ingested, and some of them have value topical. For example, stinging nettle, when you brush against it, being about in the forest and streams and wood area, can create a rash on your skin because of little spines on the stinging nettle and a slight toxin that causes a response on your skin. And when you take this stinging nettle and you extract the alkaloids from the plant into a coconut oil substrate, so it's like a coconut oil infused with stinging nettle, that coconut oil is amazing for pain relief and for achy joints such as knee joints and neck, like sore necks, say like the foot. So this same plant that has this property that can cause a rash or an irritability of the skin has amazing healing properties when utilized in the correct fashion, and incorrect by utilizing it in the manner for accomplishing the thing that you want to accomplish, which is, let's say, take away some pain and inflammation from a knee joint. So herbal plants are many. There's lots of these.
That's amazing. 200 and some thousand medicinal plants out there. And I want to go back. You asked me originally, the original question was, how do I go about it? Well, you originally started doing this and I kind of just picked up. There's two apps that I just started recently using this spring. One of them is called Leaf Snap, LEAFSNAP. And this app you can download on your phone, and you can, when you're out in nature, you can take a picture of a leaf or a tree bark, and then this app will tell you what the plant's name is. And then once you know the name's the plant of the name of the plant, then what I do is I go on Google and I Google is stinging nettle medicinal, or is stinging nettle edible? And then that's when I make my decision on whether or not I'm going to harvest it or not. And I also, there's another one for mushrooms called picture mushroom, and that can be used in the same manner. So basically for me, when I find a plant that I don't know what it is, I'll take a picture of it. If it has medicinal properties, I bring it home and dry it, or you can use it fresh. You can literally pick it, and this is the exact pot that I use. This makes really close to a gallon, not quite. But what I would do is I would take all the leaves and the things that I gather, and I put them in there, and I fill the rest of it with water all the way to the top of the kettle.
How much plant material are you putting in there?
It depends. I mean, it depends how strong you want it. Like, you can literally make tea very, very thick. So like, for instance, last night I made a pot, and I filled this all the way up with dry and fresh plants and mushrooms.
So you filled the pot up with plant material?
Yes, and then I put the water in. So it was a very, very, very potent tea.
And what was the intention with that?
I had a lot of inflammation, my lower back, my knees, and I just started a new job, so my motor skills and my wrists, I could feel they were sleeping all night long. So today I'm gonna go find some wild herb that I can put on my wrist that will no longer cause them to sleep.
And do you have a specific herb in mind?
I don't, but I know I'm gonna find it. And when you said stinging nettle, that I knew there was something, and there's another one with boron in it, and I believe it's the one that grows in the grass out in people's yards, that they call it it's called a plantain.
Oh, I'm familiar with that.
Okay. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it has very high sources of boron in it, which is very good for your joints.
It's also like crunchy, and so you can fry it up and eat it like asparagus.
Really? I'll have to look into that.
And you can eat it raw.
Okay. Nice. So that's what I would do. And then after I have my water in it, I will turn the burner on high. This will be on the stove top, or you can put it on a campfire or whatever, but you want the water to get to just about boiling temperature, or just to the boiling temperature. You want to make sure you have your lid on it so that all the alkaloids don't escape into the air. And then as soon as it reaches boiling point, you want to take it down to a simmer, which means just so it's just boiling or just simmering. And last night, the pot that I made, I did that for 45 minutes, and then I let it sit for 5 minutes. I took all the, so what I do then is I have this strainer, and I have a pitcher, or you use whatever you like, and then you dump it in, and this will keep all the plant material from going into your tea. So after I had done one pot of this, I left all the plant material and the herbs in there, and I put another, I filled it up with water again, and I did a second pot because it had so many plants in it. I was like, man, I got to do it because it's too good. So, so that's for about 45 minutes, an hour is how much you want to simmer it.
So have you drank any of the tea that you brewed last evening?
I did.
And so what was your impression with it and your experience?
Initially, it was very relaxing, very, I felt more connected to myself, those around me, to spirit. As far as the pain goes, I feel like I may go with the coconut oil and try a different route. But I'm actually got a cup right here of the tea that I brewed last night. So it's really good.
So like with my personal experience with this, like growing up, this was a normal part of my life experience. Like tea was just if it was a rainy day, if it was a cold day, if you had sniffles, you drank tea, and it was just it was a normal thing to me growing up like this. So it feels very natural to continue drinking tea even now, but now it has grew and expanded from at home just having these herbal teas and actual tea that we grew in a garden. So it was completely natural to now me going out and actively foraging plants, and that I can now brew tea without any tea leaves. And so it's a whole different experience for me. And so I've kind of grew into this, but for just the last probably year and a half is when I really began to drink tea on a daily basis. And from then until now, what I've noticed is I'm not the same person now that I was a second ago. So I'm definitely not the same person now that I was a year ago. But what I've noticed is that there's that we've got the plants, and I say we've got the plants are there and abundantly there. And so there's alkaloids in the plants, and we extract these alkaloids using a tea brewing method. And when you like brew these teas and you're ingesting alkaloids, which are chemicals, and your brain is a chemical brain factory. There's approximately 300 chemical reactions happening in your brain every single second. So that is just part of your normal body process. So just to have you just sitting there, boom, 300 chemical reactions, boom, 300 chemical reactions, boom, 300 chemical reactions, to just have you observing this video to essentially not exert any physical effort, which doesn't necessarily say you're not exerting effort, because there's mental effort. There's just the pure fact of giving attention to something is putting forth effort. So your brain has these chemical reactions happening all the time. And from drinking this tea, it's adding new alkaloids and new, new alkaloids or new molecular structures to your brain. And I feel that it's an alchemical process that, like, from a year ago to now, I feel way more connected to earth. I feel way more connected to spirit. I feel more connected to other people. And I feel like I feel so connected with a system, say an organic system, that like it's not even, it's like exponentially improvement for myself, like mentally, spiritually, and physically. Like my physical body right now feels amazing, like ecstatic, like I could just go and express and do things. And the reason I'm sharing it is because that I feel that tea for me has played a big part in that process of me being here now.
And I can relate similarly. Like, I remember when you first started, I was like thinking to myself, tea, I was just thinking, yeah, garden tea, so what? But as time went on and I started learning more about plants and the fact that I can go outside my door and I can go to a fence row, I can go beside the road. I can go out in my yard, dandelion roots. I can go to the woods, I can go to the fields and gather this stuff, and the potential for me feeling exponentially better after I brew tea from these plants is just about guaranteed.
Something to have an awareness about is that, like, the freest and the healthiest food is so abundant and it's all around. There's so much of it. And the only reason that you're not already utilizing it is because of a lack of awareness of this. There's so many plants. They're all over. And they're better for you than any single one plant that you'll be buying from a grocery store. Like, these are that.
And the beautiful thing about making tea is that you don't have to just go pick the plants. If you're thinking that, if you're in the northern part of the States, you're like, oh no, we got winter or whatever. Well, the nice thing about it is you can take these plants, and if you dry them and we use window screens and I just fixed up a big drying system just the other day, but there's ways that you can dry these plants that you can keep them all throughout the winter season.
Which is the best time to actually be having them.
Yes. And so if you're thinking that this is just a, through the spring and the summer season, it can be all 4 seasons.
Stay blessed, stay multi-dimensional, and continue experiencing.